Margaret Wilson sat quietly near the window, her wrinkled hands resting gently on her lap. Outside, the city was alive. Cars moving, people rushing, lights shining everywhere. But inside her room, everything was silent. She slowly looked down at an old photograph. It was David, her son, smiling as a little boy. A tear rolled down her cheek. "David, you once promised me." And just like that, her mind drifted back. Margaret was not always like this. She was once strong, full of life, full of hope. She lived in a small American village, a place where mornings smelled like fresh soil and evenings felt like peace. Her home was small, wooden, simple, but to her it was everything. Her husband, Thomas Wilson, was a kind man who loved his family deeply. But one rainy evening, everything changed. Thomas never came back home. An accident took him away, and just like that, Margaret was left alone with a 5-year-old boy, David. Life became harder than ever, but Margaret never gave up. She worked in the fields during the day, cleaned houses in the evening, and stitched clothes late into the night. Her hands would ache, her body would feel weak, but her heart stayed strong, because she had one reason: David. Every night she would sit beside him, gently touching his hair, and whisper, "You will become a great man, my son." And little David would reply, "I promise, Mom, I will never leave you." Those words became her strength, her hope, her entire world. Years passed, and David grew into a smart and hard-working young man. He studied day and night, earned scholarships, and finally moved to the city to build a better future. Leaving the village was not easy, but Margaret smiled through her tears. "Go, build your life. Don't worry about me." David hugged her tightly. "I'll come back for you, Mom, soon." The city changed everything. A big job, a big house, a modern lifestyle. David built the life Margaret always dreamed for him. He married Sophia, a confident and ambitious woman. Everything looked perfect, but slowly something began to change. The calls became shorter. The visits became rare, and Margaret was slowly forgotten. Still, she never complained. She would sit outside her small house in the village, waiting, hoping. One day, the phone rang. "Mom, I wanted to come live with me." For a moment, her heart stopped. "Really, David?" "Yes, Mom, it's time you live with us." Her eyes filled with tears of happiness. She packed her small bag, and before leaving, she looked around her house one last time. Every corner held a memory: her husband's laughter, David's childhood, her struggles, her love. She touched the door gently. Goodbye. When she arrived in the city, everything felt new: big buildings, fast life, unfamiliar faces. But her heart was light, because her son was with her. Emma and Lucas ran toward her. "Grandma, tell us stories." She smiled, truly smiled after years. For a moment, everything felt right again, but slowly, things began to change. Sophia started noticing her habits, her simple ways, her village stories. "She doesn't belong here," she told David. "She has a village mindset." David stayed silent, and that silence changed everything. Margaret was slowly pushed away. "You should rest. Don't worry about the kitchen. Stay in your room." These words sounded kind, but they created distance. Emma and Lucas became busy. David became distant, and Margaret became invisible. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. She would sit near the window, watching the outside world. But inside, she felt empty. "Was this the life I waited for?" she whispered. One evening, everything broke. Sophia shouted in anger, "This is not your house." Those words echoed in the room. Margaret stood still, her hands trembling, her heart shattered. That night, she didn't cry. She just quietly packed her bag. One old photo, a few clothes, and a lifetime of memories. Maybe I don't belong here. Early in the morning, before anyone woke up, she walked out silently. No goodbye, no noise, just pain. As she stepped outside, the cold air touched her face. But inside, she felt nothing. When David found out, he panicked. He searched everywhere, and finally, he found her. "Mom, please come back." Margaret looked at him, her tired eyes filled with tears. "I don't want to be a burden." Those words broke him completely. But it was too late. Margaret moved into an old age home, a small, quiet room, just like before. She smiled, but her eyes were empty. David came often. He tried to fix everything, but some things cannot be fixed, because time had already passed. One day, Margaret looked at him and said softly, "Son, love only feels beautiful when it is given on time."